I'm Christopher German for KCTV News for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. For tonight's broadcast, the stories we're following for you. A 35-year-old local man is now facing serious felony charges following his arrest last week in connection with a series of downtown arson incidents. And a recent decision by the U.S. Appeals Court has opened the door for potential deployment for Oregon National Guard troops to go to Portland. And fair weather is expected to hold through Wednesday and Thursday, but the weekend is promising a 1-2 punch from storms that could bring us some snowfall. So make sure you tune in every morning for weather from the Skywatch Weather Center, with weather from the Klamath Basin for the Klamath Basin. And tonight's news is brought to you by...
Have you ever wondered what you were missing with streaming television? Well, how about 30,000 sets of eyes each month at KCTV? That's exactly how many people tune in to KCTV each month, and they could be visiting your business right now if you advertised on KCTV. With a 30-second ad that runs on our station, our advertisers are getting some great response and some great return on their investment. Call today, 541-880-4913, and inquire about how to advertise on KCTV.
Our top story, a 35-year-old local man, Preston Michael Hagelson, is now facing serious felony charges following his arrest last week in connection with a series of downtown arson incidents. The arrests came on October 13th, 2025, after officers allegedly linked him to 5 separate trash receptacle fires that occurred the same morning. The fires struck prominent downtown locations, including Lake Park Towers, Rooster's Steakhouse and Chop House, and the First Presbyterian Church, prompting an investigation by Klamath Falls Police Department. Following his apprehension near 9th Street and High Streets, Hagelson was formally indicted by a grand jury on 3 counts of arson in the first degree, a Class A felony. He is also charged with initial reckless burning offenses and faces a Measure 11 charge for recklessly placing another in danger in physical injury, a count that carries mandatory minimum prison sentence if he is convicted. At the time of his arrest, Hagelson was reportedly wearing the same clothing seen in surveillance footage recovered from one of the fire scenes. Officers also discovered multiple boxes of matches in his pockets and noted what appeared to be burnt plastic residue on his shoes. The incident has drawn attention to Hagelson's extensive history with law enforcement. Records indicate he has been arrested more than a dozen times since October 2024, predominantly for criminal trespassing. This recent wave of arrests highlights a recurring issue where, due to constraints related to Oregon law and local jail staffing limitations, Hagelson had previously qualified for conditional release before allegedly committing the recent arson acts. He remains in custody following the grand jury indictment. And a 32-year-old Klamath Falls felon, Jeremy Bai, was taken into custody on Monday, October 13th, 2025, after allegedly firing a handgun from his backyard, prompting a response from the Klamath County Sheriff's Office. Deputies were dispatched to the 1500 block of Summers Lane just after 11:30 a.m. following reports of shots fired. The investigation revealed that Bai was allegedly discharging a handgun from his residence, with rounds reportedly directed towards neighboring properties. Due to an active felony warrant, Bai was prohibited from possessing a firearm. He now faces multiple charges, including felon in possession of a firearm, unlawful use of a weapon, and menacing. He remains in custody. And a recent decision by a U.S. Appeals Court has opened the door for potential deployment of Oregon National Guard troops to Portland, a move previously requested by the Trump administration. The ruling, issued Monday, October 20th, 2025, by a divided 3-judge panel of the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, temporarily lifted a lower court order that had blocked the federalization and deployment of the Guard. The 2-to-1 majority opinion suggested the president was likely to succeed in his arguments that the federalization of the Guard under Title 10 of the U.S. Code was lawful. The decision, however, has not guaranteed an immediate deployment, as other legal challenges remain under consideration by the courts. Oregon state officials swiftly condemned the ruling. Attorney General Dan Rayfield expressed strong opposition, warning that such a precedent would give the president unilateral power to put Oregon soldiers on our streets with almost no justification. Governor Tina Kotek also voiced her disagreement, echoing concerns about federal overreach. In response to the panel's decision, a judge on the Ninth Circuit has formally requested an en-banc rehearing of the case, which would involve a larger panel of judges reviewing the ruling. This procedural step requires both sides to submit briefs indicating that the legal battle over the deployment of the Oregon National Guard is far from over. And to the naysayers who won't believe that salmon are making their way up the Klamath River, Klamath Drainage District staff confirmed an exciting yet frustrating milestone last week: the presence of Chinook salmon in the Ady Canal. ODFW confirmed large dark masses spotted beneath the water's surface on Friday, October 17th, were the fins of migrating Chinook. Salmon have since been seen throughout the canal system, extending all the way to the lower Klamath National Wildlife Refuge. Scott White, KDD General Manager, expressed both elation and deep frustration over the sightings. It's a very exciting time. However, I never want to have to say, "I told you so," but dang it, I told you so, he stated, referencing unfulfilled commitments from the 2016 Klamath Power and Facilities Agreement. White noted that the KPFA, signed by federal and state governments and multiple stakeholders, committed to funding entrainment reduction facilities, namely fish screens for Klamath Project water users. Despite the lack of federal and state action under the KPFA, KDD and Family Water Alliance are pushing ahead with the independent effort. They are collaborating with the Bureau of Reclamation and ODFW on a $4.5 million multi-screen project to install 5 fish screens on turnouts along the Ady Canal. These screens are intended to protect the salmon from entering irrigation districts. This plan, developed in collaboration with stakeholders like the Yurok tribe, aims to permanently reconnect the river to the lower Klamath National Wildlife Refuge, ensuring water security for Klamath Project water users while providing thousands of acres of wetland habitat for fish and birds on the Pacific Flyway. As KDD owns the delivery infrastructure, White also issued a reminder to the public, saying they are working on ways we can be more accommodating to the public, but we have more work to do. And he asked the public to be patient and respect private property landowners. And the average price for a gallon of gas in Oregon has fallen to $4.01 and is expected to dip below $4 soon. This decline follows a price surge in early September when the Olympic pipeline was temporarily out of service. The Olympic pipeline, which transports fuel from Washington state refineries to distribution terminals in the Pacific Northwest, including Portland, was down starting around September 2nd. The disruption, coupled with the refinery maintenance, caused a significant jump in wholesale and retail gas prices, pushing the Oregon average to a year-to-date high of nearly $4.30 in mid-September. Now that that pipeline has resumed operation and stations have begun switching to cheaper to produce winter blend gasoline, prices are easing across the state. The current average price, $4.01, is a 7-cent drop from the previous week. And an Oregon business advocacy group, Oregon Business and Industry, and Salem Mayor Julie Hoy have initiated a push to repeal a 2021 state law, House Bill 3115, which significantly limits the way cities can enforce public camping bans. The group filed an initiative petition titled the Local Control and Safety Act, which aims to put the question before Oregon voters in the November 2026 election. If successful, the repeal would give city and county governments greater authority to regulate or prohibit unsanctioned public camping. House Bill 3115 was passed in response to a federal court ruling that restricted the ability to criminally punish homeless individuals for sleeping outside when no shelter was available. The law requires that any local ordinance regulating sitting, lying, sleeping, or keeping warm and dry outdoors on public property must be objectively reasonable as to time, place, and manner. Proponents of the repeal argue that the state law has tied the hands of local governments, contributing to an increase in unsafe and unsanitary encampments. They contend that local leaders need the flexibility to determine their own policies, especially following a recent U.S. Supreme Court decision that affirmed the authority of local governments to control unsanctioned camping, though the state law still imposes restrictions. The efforts come as cities across Oregon have struggled to enforce their camping regulations while complying with House Bill 3115. Portland's own daytime camping ban, which was an attempt to comply with the law by imposing time restrictions, has been repeatedly challenged in court, leading to injunctions that have temporarily blocked enforcement. Opponents of the repeal, including homeless service providers, argue that the initiative would further criminalize homelessness and fail to address the root causes of the crisis. And now for a little weather. Fair weather is expected to hold through Wednesday and Thursday, though residents will see an increase in cloud cover by Thursday. Temperatures will only cool slightly through midweek, keeping high temperatures above normal for this time of year. The calm weather will end late Thursday as winds are forecast to significantly increase, heralding the arrival of a major storm system on Friday. Widespread rain will reach the coast by Friday morning, with heavy precipitation anticipated for a period along the immediate coastline and coastal mountains. This band of moderate rainfall will then track inland through the day and into the evening. Gusty winds will also be a factor on Friday on the east side, the mountains, and the Shasta Valley. The system is expected to deliver beneficial rainfall to the region. The initial snow level on Friday will be very high, about 7,000 feet, and will begin to drop Friday night. A second system is forecast to impact the area over the weekend, following a potential lull in precipitation Saturday morning. Another round of widespread rain and then higher elevation snow is expected throughout Saturday and Saturday night. This second wave could also bring periods of heavy rain and snow, especially near the coast and along the Cascades. This weekend storm will usher in significantly cooler temperatures and carries the potential for strong winds in parts of the region. Snow levels will continue to fall, dropping to about 5,500 feet on Saturday and further to about 4,500 feet by Sunday morning. The lowering snow levels mean that higher mountain passes will likely see travel impacts due to winter weather. Rain and high elevation snow showers are expected to continue through Sunday, and some forecast models hint at the possibility of a more active weather pattern continuing into early next week. So tune in and get your views counted only at KCTV, and make sure you hit that subscribe button to KCTV on your favorite platform. And while you're at it, make sure you log on to klamathcommunity.tv for the latest news, weather, and lifestyle news and sports, including these daily stories posted you'll find exclusively on the KCTV news page. So for KCTV News, I'm Christopher German. Thank you for watching, thank you for playing along, and thank you for supporting this station. I put a post up on the Facebook page yesterday that we need more money. We can't keep doing this out of my house. We can't keep doing this station the way it's at. We need supporters. We need advertisers. We need more people to get behind this channel. And if it doesn't happen, I'm going to have to pull this thing off the air, because I can't keep doing what I'm doing here and not make any money doing this, because I need to stay alive. I have bills I have to pay. So I'm asking you if you have any suggestions of businesses that would like to support this channel. We're reaching over 30,000 people in this county every month. And we're reaching over 15,000 people with this news program every month. Now, I don't know if that is going to be enticing to anybody, but over half the county is paying attention to this station. And if it is going to keep going the way it's going, we'll get the whole county eventually. But it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen tomorrow. But at least we got half. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And as always, God bless. Good night. Thank you for watching. And we will see you guys again tomorrow. Good night. God bless. I'm Christopher German.